I challenged ECOWAS when they were trying to mobilize the military to go and fight Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Oh, we can have a coup. I said, help me understand something. France has had coups against these nations for centuries. When France is forcing these countries to deposit their bank reserves with France, that's a coup, an economic coup. President Tinubu, what have you done about this coup? You are sitting on the big boy chair now. Talk to me. What are you going to do about this coup?
What's up, guys? Once again, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Larry, and remember, if you're watching my videos for the first time, kindly like, subscribe, comment and share on my videos to my returning subscribers. Thank you so much for always taking your time to view my videos. Your support means so much to me. And now to my new subscribers, my new viewers, I want you to feel much welcomed. So guys, in today's video I want us to look at the fearless Dr. Arana. We also know her as Mama Africa. Now, Dr. Arana has had a speech recently in South Africa where she sent out a very bold message to the West leaders and mostly to our puppet leaders here in Africa. Dr. Arana, she is so fearless, and like I always tell you guys, we have the power in our voices. So guys, I want you to look at this video and then I'll be back with more comments.
I challenged ECOWAS when they were trying to mobilize the military to go and fight Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Oh, we can have a coup. I said, help me understand something. France has had coups against these nations for centuries. When France is forcing these countries to deposit their bank reserves with France, that's a coup, an economic coup. President Tinubu, what have you done about this coup? You are sitting on the big boy chair now. Talk to me. What are you going to do about this coup? When France is making sure that all natural resources for these countries belong to France, that's a coup. What are you going to do about it, ECOWAS? These are coups. But somehow, we don't see them as coups because it's the white men doing it. If a black man was doing the same thing to another black man, oh, you know, they'll call them out in a heartbeat. We have a serious problem as Africans. We don't even realize how sick we are with this disease. We are not just sick at home. We are not just sick in the doctor's waiting room. We are not just sick in the general ward in the hospital. We are in the intensive care. It's deep. You see, as a doctor, I cannot help you unless you come to me with your complaints. At least recognize that you're sick. But most of the time, we don't even realize that we are sick. So where do we begin? This stupidity that is going on in Africa has got to come to an end. And you can't expect those who put us in positions of servitude to get us out. It's not going to happen. So the question is, when is the African going to wake up? The African is stupid in Africa. The African is stupid in America. The African is stupid in South America. The African is stupid in the Caribbean. Wherever you see us as black people, we do some of the most stupid things. You go into neighborhoods. In America, where I've spent most of my time, look at the Mexicans. they stick together like super glue when it comes to issues pertaining to their existence in the United States as Mexicans. The Irish, the Jews, the Chinese, the Indians ask for their voices loud and clear because they understand the importance of unity. They don't have to love each other, but they understand when it comes to issues pertaining to their sheer existence, they must stick together like super glue, and they do. But when we ask for the voices of black people, we scatter like mice. We don't believe in each other. I was in Dallas and one Zimbabwean, I was asking, are there a lot of Zimbabweans who are you? No, I don't talk to Zimbabweans. I'm the only black person in my neighborhood, and she was so proud of it. I'm speaking to another friend, this time in Zimbabwe. She was so proud that her son cannot speak Shona, and that the son speaks English like a British. And she's telling me this with a certain level of pride. And that's the mother, which means the child is just as doomed. When are we going to wake up and realize that our inability to move forward as a people is because we were defeated where it matters the most? I'm so glad we're sitting here in an institution of higher learning. I'm going to ask you to say, what are we going to do about the educational curriculum? Because that's where it begins. They don't want us knowing our history. They don't want us knowing where we came from. Because if you are a person without a history, who are you? Where do you come from? As Africans, we're too busy running away from who we are. We don't want to embrace our Africanness. Why not? If you refuse and don't accept your Africanness, then who are you? I tell the Africans when they try to act like they want to speak like an American, they want to lose their accent. You can never speak English like an American. Then you don't want to speak your own vernacular. Then who are you? You are just like a ship without an anchor. The wind blows that way, there you go. The wind blows that way, there you go. And there are too many of us who find themselves in that boat without an anchor. What's happening in Burkina Faso must be supported. What's happening in Mali must be supported. What's happening in Niger must be supported. If you care the least bit about our future, how else are we going to get France out of Africa? How else are we going to get Britain, Germany, all those former colonizers? They're now in as multinationals, siphoning billions out of Africa, using safe havens to hide their returns. We know they're here. They are now wolf in sheep's clothing. What is it going to take? If you look at the move that Niger made, by simply saying, France, you can no longer buy our uranium for 80 cents a kilo, when we know very well you're selling it for 200 euros per kilo. Niger was realizing about 1 billion out of the sales of its uranium a year, while France was realizing close to 300 billion. That one move alone, when Niger said, if you want our uranium, 200 euros a kilo, please. Immediately, 300 billion. 1 mineral. It's not going to take much to change Africa. We got what it takes. If there's one thing we're very fortunate of, we're endowed with everything the rest of the world needs. The truth of the matter is, we don't need the world. The world needs Africa. But do we really know that and believe in it and are ready to stand up and proclaim who we are? And let them know. But I've sat in meetings where I've seen ministers, America, can you help us with this? Europe, can you help us? Begging endlessly for something that we have. Whatever they are giving you is what they stole from us. And they are giving you peanuts. When are we going to stop being outsmarted by these people? They come smiling at you. They come to give you aid. You know very well that's your money. But we're so grateful. I once went to the World Bank. Oh, Ambassador, we have money for the African Union. Please, when the chairman comes. So the deputy chair came, and we went. They had $15 million for us. $5 million for the whole African Union. And here's the kicker. They were only going to give us 50% of that. And then when we can show them what we have done with the 7.5 million, then we can have the other 7.5. Blatantly insulting us. And I'm not supposed to say anything. I got my deputy chair, so I need to shut up. But I asked to go to the bathroom. And I called the chair. I said, could you please come down the hall? I said, let's not take that money. I don't know about you, but I feel highly and royally insulted. Treat you like a child. You don't know how to handle money. So we'll just give you 7.5 million. Let's see what you do with it. And then we may or may give you the rest. It's the same thing they're doing at the United Nations. When Africa is supposed to be at the UN Security Council as the 6th and 7th members of the UN Security Council. But you can't have veto power. So come on in, Africa. Oh, we got a kiddie chair over here for you. Sit over there, we got some cookies. Sit over there and be quiet while we take care of business. And we entertain that. Wow. What's wrong with us? What gives me hope is that we have a vibrant African youth who are saying enough is enough. We are not taking this anymore. This abuse has got to come to an end. The exploitation of the African continent has got to come to an end. The Berlin Conference must be dismantled. And for those of you who think Berlin Conference is a piece of history, guess what? It's a piece of legislation nicely designed over a period of 4 months to see to it that Africa and her children are forever defeated and dominated to this day. As long as there's a country called Malawi, as long as there's a country called Gabon with 1.5 million people, as long as there's a country called Eswatini, Berlin Conference is alive and well. And that's where we get defeated internationally through trade. Oh, you're all equal. You are a sovereign nation, Eswatini. You are a sovereign nation, Togo. You are a sovereign nation, Malawi. And every African country for that matter. So let's go to the market. You, Malawi, with your little basket with 3 eggs, you're coming to the market. And here comes China with truckloads of eggs. I once was told that Zimbabwe thought, well, let's see if we can sell eggs to China. Let's supply some eggs. They're bringing stuff to us. Let's give them eggs. So I told the president, ask people to go do some research and see how much eggs we need to send to China. The report came back and said, Mr. President, the amount of eggs we produce the whole year, that's one breakfast in China. So you want Zimbabwe to go to the market with China and sell eggs? That's David and Goliath. And it was all by design. As long as we remain as the little-bitty economies that we are today, we are forever getting our rear ends kicked. The only way for Africa to survive is when we unite. A united Africa is a must, but it's going to take minds that are awoken, minds that understand the importance of unity, minds that are free of the legacy of colonization and the legacy of slavery. As we speak today, we're all sick from the disease. None of us is exempt. And that's a fact. I'm going to ask each and every one of you to have a serious conversation with the image in the mirror. And ask yourself why you feel the way you do. Why are you automatically afraid of those who don't look like you? Why do you feel defeated? Why are you afraid to speak up and stand your ground? Besides, you are the mothers and fathers of humanity. Without the black woman, without the black man, the rest of the world would not be. That's a fact. We civilized the world. They came to Africa and stole everything that they never had. Came back with what they stole from us and made us believe that they gave it to us. Timbuktu, Egypt. The Greeks, when they needed to be trained, where were they sent? To Egypt. Because it was already there. We're already doing it. But they want the history to start from here, so we don't talk about what happened before. My brothers and sisters, we are inheritors of an amazing continent. South Africa is an amazing country. We have people like Nelson Mandela, Walter Sisulu, our very own president. People who suffered and sacrificed everything for this country to be free. Why are we trying to disrespect them and go back? South Africa should lead the way. Nigeria should lead the way. Kenya should lead the way. We have countries that should lead the way because they have what it takes to take Africa where Africa needs to be. But let me also add that the leaders cannot do it alone. I don't care what ideas President Zuma had. If we are not ready to implement those ideas and think he can do it as leadership alone, it's not going to work. I was discussing the issues of the quote-unquote coups in Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. One African said, but Ambassador, why do we have to do coups to change government? Why can't we just do like the Chinese do? I said, son, let me ask you one question. During the pandemic, the Chinese built a 10,000 square foot hospital bed in 1 week. Are you Africans ready to do that? The Chinese are willing to work non-stop to do what needs to be done for the sake of country, for the sake of nation. We're too greedy, too selfish to do that. I said, son, until you start having the mind of a Chinaman, you can never be like a Chinaman. We have some serious introspection to do. We have some serious thinking to do. We're not asking you to love each other. We simply understand, we want you to understand, that while there is a certain level of camaraderie that exists in other races, there was a strategy put in place to make sure that we remain divided and conquered. Fear was intentionally instilled in us, so we will be forever fearful for nothing, but we're just afraid. There's another book I want to recommend to all of you. It's called The Making of a Slave, the Willie Lynch Letters. Willie Lynch was a slave owner from the Caribbean. He had come up with a way of training his slaves so they would remain submissive for generations to come. One of the ways was taking a black man, tie one leg on one horse facing that way, another leg on another horse facing that way, and he will hit the horses, and they would literally split the men apart. In front of his children, in front of his family, in front of other black people and other slaves. And he particularly wanted the pregnant women. Why? That would be passed on, that fear would be passed on to even the unborn child. So it is, over 400 years later, we almost underwent a genetic mutation of sheer stupidity. We were programmed to be afraid. We were programmed to almost be stupid and just do stupid things. The things that we tolerate, no man in any other country would tolerate. But we do. It's going to take all of you. The students, you are our future. We're counting on you. We're a lost cause. I feel encouraged when we have young people like our moderator. Young people who are awoken. Young people who are saying we can no longer continue to be lied to anymore. We know the truth. Is South Africa ready? Is South Africa ready to lead the way? To stand up and say enough is enough? That we can no longer continue to be exploited. We can no longer continue to be treated as second-class citizens in our own land.
Now, guys, we are Africa. We don't need the world. The world needs Africa. Those are the words I found. Allow me to call them the wise words of Dr. Arana. Because we as Africans, our countries, we are rich in valuable minerals. A lot of them. But why can't we use them to develop ourselves and our countries? Why can't we do that? This is mainly because of our puppet leaders. They are not even leaders. They are just politicians who only care about their seats in power. They have become puppets to these Western leaders. Now these Western people, these Western leaders, they are using our leaders to hurt us as Africans. They are using our leaders to steal from us. They are using our leaders to discriminate us. Most of the things that these Western people used to do to us, they are now being done to us by our very own black people, the people we chose, the people we elected into power. Just because these corrupt politicians, these greedy politicians, they need a piece of the pie. And as you've heard what Dr. Arana has said, they don't even get, it's not even a full pie or other piece of the pie. They're just crumbs. Why would you hurt your very own people just because of these crumbs? You put crumbs in your pockets and you sell us out, your very own people. Very greedy politicians, very greedy leaders we have, very corrupt and dirty leaders we have in our nations, in our countries. You've heard Dr. Arana echoing that what is being done in Burkina Faso should be supported by the fellow African countries. We all know what President Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso, in his country. He ordered the French military out of his country. Out. You've also heard what is happening in Niger, where the France people are totally taken over, but after they realized how much their minerals is. Again, guys, I'll tell you, we have power in our voices if only we speak up against these corrupt leaders. We still have these colonials in our countries. You've heard Dr. Arana say that we still have them as sub-countries in our country. The Germans, the British, the French, they're still here in our countries. But they're using the faces of our very own leaders to do these dirty works for them. Our leaders are hurting us. The same leaders who are supposed to be protecting us, the same leaders who are supposed to be serving us, they are now hurting us just in the name of they need something. Money, to be precise and to be specific. We chose them, but they've turned out to be total sellouts. And I must congratulate Dr. Arana for her bold speech. She is indeed fearless. You've heard her talk of fellow Africa she met in the United States. This person is proudly, she has some pride in her, saying that her child cannot speak her vernacular. We cannot speak fluent, or rather we cannot speak English as the Americans. We cannot speak English as this British. We are Africans. Let's embrace our culture and our natives. Let's stop imposting and trying to be like these Western people. You've also heard Dr. Arana talk of we as Africans, we do stupid things all over the world. Totally stupid things. We are trying to fit in other people's lifestyle while abandoning our very own lifestyle, which is totally unacceptable. If only our African leaders could speak up. If only our African leaders could stop being puppets to these Western leaders. Our countries, as Africa and as Africans, we would be so much developed. And like I told you guys in my recent videos, we must first be developed. If we need these Western people to give us our respect, our due respect, we need to develop ourselves first. It's because of our state that we don't get the respect that we deserve from these Western, from these whites. I stand to be corrected, but that's the truth. The much we build in us, the much we invest in us, the much respect we will get. Because we will have proven to them that we can stand for ourselves. We don't need them at all. We don't need them. the much we speak up, the much we stand for ourselves, the much we develop ourselves, the much respect we will gain from these Western and white people. It's just that simple. And what will it take us, or rather what will it take our leaders to use our resources in investing in our own countries before exporting them to other foreign countries? And I've been telling you, we consume what we don't produce, and we produce what we don't consume. How can that even be possible? What we produce must first be used, or rather be consumed, in our countries before exporting them outside. Otherwise, guys, I'm your host Larry. Thank you for always being, or rather choosing to be part of the Larry Kangira and Covers family. Your support means so much to me. Thank you so much for my returning subscribers, my returning viewers. You are amazing. Your support keeps me going. So guys, I'm your host Larry. Remember, if you're watching my videos for the first time, kindly like, subscribe, comment and share. To my returning subscribers, thank you. And to my Asian brothers and sisters, I wish your country to gain stability soon and soon and soon. And until we meet again, guys, peace out. And I love you so much.